Psalm 18 is David's song of deliverance. After years of running from Saul and his enemies, for nearly 10 years, David lived in caves, wilderness, and danger. Finally, God delivered him, and David responded with worship, witness, and waiting. Deliverance is the key theme in Psalm 18. When we call on the Lord, He delivers. In Psalm 18:6 we can see, "In my distress I called to the Lord, and He heard my voice." In Psalm 18 we can divide this psalm in three parts: worship, witness, wait. When God delivered David from Saul and his enemies, David responded to God after he is delivered in worship, in witness, and wait. He worshipped the Lord with all his heart, and he witnessed about God, and he waited upon the Lord for his timing. In Psalm first verses to 6th verse in Psalm 18, David begins with love. I love you, Lord, my strength. He calls God his rock, fortress, deliverer, shield, stronghold. Worship is not based on circumstances, just not with lips, but on God's character. In action, even in distress, David cried out to God. In verse 6, we can see. The lesson we can learn from here is worship is not just singing songs, it's trusting the Lord, loving God in the middle of challenges. John 4:23, true worshippers worship in spirit and truth. And the second point we can see, like in this psalm, witness. The first is worship. David worshipped God with his whole heart. And in the second part of the psalm, we can see he witnessed about God. David describes God's almighty intervention, how he shook the earth to deliver David. In verse 7 onwards, we can see he came like smoke and fire, darkness, thunder, lightning. This is not exaggeration, it's poetic witness. My God came down for me. David witnesses about God that he prayed to God and God delivered him. Not just delivering him, the God himself came down to him because David called upon the Lord. God, in response, he came down for David and he delivered him. When God delivers you, don't stay silent. We need to share our testimonies. We need to be the witness of God that He has done miracles in our life and what deliverance we had got from God. And also the third part we can see as wait. David waited almost 10 years for this moment of deliverance. He reached down, drew me out of deep waters. We can see in verse 16. He sent from on high, he took me, he drew me out of many waters. Lord rescued David. God brought him out into a broad place, a place of freedom and safety. Because in verse 19 we can see God delighted in David. David is saying, God rescued me, He delivered me because He delighted in me. Just as the Father declared about Jesus. When Jesus was baptized, during that time, a loud voice from heaven, it declared, like, "This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased." Matthew 3:17 it says. So we can think sometimes God is delaying our prayers to answer, but His timing is perfect. Waiting is not wasted. It deepens our faith and trust. Waiting is not wasted. So in Isaiah 40:31 it says, "Those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength." Galatians 4:4 it says, at the fullness of time, God sent his Son. So, David's journey from worshipping the Lord, witnessing about God, waiting on God. God works the same way today also. He worked for David, and in the same way, He will work for us too. Worship God with genuine love, not just lips. Witness boldly when He delivers us. Wait patiently for His perfect time. Worship in love, witness in truth, wait in hope.